Welcome to Shoot the Breeze, a series on a podcast that celebrates the messiness of life, relationships, and Christianity, featuring my wife Lacey and myself, Nathan. It's creatively titled because it will be just us shooting the breeze, sometimes with guests, while occasionally saying something important. We hope you enjoy. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah. Good.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Here I am.
How are your braces?
Oh, you know what? I thought I was ready to throw myself off a building on, what day was it? Thursday. But they've gotten better. I had an adjustment on Monday.
Yeah.
So.
Is your phone going off?
Yeah, I turned everything off on it. I don't know what's happening. Should I answer it?
It's a no caller ID. Yeah, do it.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, hi. Yeah, go ahead. I'm doing a podcast right now, though, okay? Okay. No problem. Thanks. Love you.
Who was it?
Bye. It's Lydia calling from her Kindle.
Oh, okay.
The kids figured out how to, I don't even, honestly, this is what dates me. I don't even know how they did it, but they figured out how to make Wi-Fi calls from their Kindle. They can have 5 numbers in them, but they use my account, so I can't call them, but they can call me.
Right.
So it kind of solves a problem for me if them getting a hold of me, but the problem is I can't get hold of them.
Yeah, but like for emergencies, it's fantastic. Because
Yeah, it's
they're
great.
Able to just
It's
call
great,
us.
but it could be like...
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. It could be somebody selling insurance, or it could be my daughter.
Well, you know what's funny is on
Yeah.
your phone it comes in as no caller ID, but on mine it says Lacey Steele.
Yeah, because it messes with my phone's head. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, so now whatever's calling myself. I don't know what to do.
No ID. So you were okay. You started to talk, and
I started to talk. I did.
and then I told you to stop because I wanted to save it because the subject I thought was fantastic for.
Well, here's
For the
the thing
podcast.
I wanted to talk to you, Nathaniel, about was that Ariana, she is kicking up her summer businesses again.
Correct. Which are
She-
she has a number.
She has Ari's Wash and Roll, which is her car washing business.
Which she's expanded this year.
She has.
She has
And then she
employees.
does have employees, and she does also have her dog walking business, which she's abandoned a little bit, and she's focusing on the car wash.
Well, she's knowing she makes more money.
She makes way more money
Yeah,
with the
you
car
gotta-
washing business.
Yeah, exactly.
And she has repeat customers because, your car always gets dirty. So this year, though...
And I want to say,
Yeah.
so her and I drove the other day by all of her clients.
Yes.
They do a fantastic
Do
job.
they?
Yeah. Have you seen? So like I was driving by because I was a little leery.
I know. I'm always a little leery.
Yeah, right.
Well, not too long ago, she used a green scrubby on our car. So I've
Like
always...
one of those Scotch Brite
Yeah.
abrasive
Oh,
scrubs.
gosh.
So, and she used it on our neighbor's
She
car.
did. So we had to really clarify what kind of tools that we use for car washes. But that was eons ago. That was at least a year ago. Well, actually, she used a green scrubby on the neighbors. But years ago, when we first got the Honda,
Yeah.
back when we were living in Alaska, we got a car. It was new to us. We were so excited about it. And she used a sandpaper sponge on it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
You do remember that? So anyway, she has progressed
Yeah.
as a businesswoman. She is now really primarily focusing on Ari's Wash and Roll.
Yes.
And she goes out, this last week, she went out for a minimum of an hour, I think, for 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
And the thing that's funny about it this time is she wants to hang out with her friends, but she still wants to make money.
Yeah.
So she cuts them into the
Deal.
business.
Of course.
Yeah. And I think she's made around $90.
That's her cut.
That's her cut, but technically the business itself has made closer to $300.
Right.
Right. And so,
And that's in the span of a month.
no, honey, that's been the last 4 days.
Oh, the last 4 days.
That's the last 4 days.
Wow. Okay, I was thinking month.
No, she's doing well for a 10-year-old. Yeah.
She reminds me of you.
So, she has this money, and I'm telling her, because it's just so hard to teach her it's always been hard to teach her value because she just, I don't know what it is with the child, but people just buy her things. They give her money on the street. I mean, this has always been the way it is with her. We've had it happen before, and this is no joke. She saved up her money, went in to buy things, been out of money, and someone right after she spends her money gives her a bunch more money. So she just...
Or just simply gives her the thing that, buys her the thing that she wanted but didn't have enough money for.
Right, and it's... Yeah. I've had people stop me and ask me if they could buy her things. I've got to the checkout line before, and people have bought her stuff and left it there. I don't know how to, I do not know how to train up this child except for how to steward all the money she gets because she's just always has it. So, anyway, I told her, I said, instead of going and buying, I think she really wants a hoverboard, which I don't think she'll play with very long. I said, why don't you take the money you earned in the last few days and invest it back into your business? Either re-up your supplies with your business, expand, because she's borrowing her friend's wagon. So she has it like hitched on the back of her bike. It's awesome. Yeah. But she
it's like
either buy your
supplies.
own. Yeah, you buy your own wagon. You get another sponge. She has a purple sponge now that she's named Violet. But now that she's expanded her employee base, she needs a few more sponges. I said, so you could either do that. You could definitely invest back in your car wash.
Right.
Or you could start an entirely different business if you wanted to, just because I don't want her to burn out her
friends,
our neighbors, you know, because we got to live there.
She's going pretty far and wide though.
I know. And
it's now encircling about a 6-block radius.
Right. And she had one woman the other day who told her that for me to text her, and she put her info on Facebook so people could call her. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we're not going to put our 10-year-old daughter's face and phone number on
Marketplace.
Nope.
No. So I told her that could not happen. But in thinking about it, I was just thinking about like different things that she could do with a wagon, like just selling things or services.
She does a fantastic job with like jewelry and stuff. She does a good job with jewelry.
She does. Jewelry's really you got to spend a lot of money to get your supplies. So that one's not good because then they just steal my jewelry supplies. So I don't love that idea.
Right.
I like the car washing because it does expend her
energy
a bit.
Right.
But I was thinking, tell me what you think about this. What if she bought like a shaved ice machine?
Ooh, hun. That's an idea.
Right.
And she could put it in a cart. So she'd have to buy a cart.
Shaved ice machine, yep, and then some syrups. And I was thinking what she could do is get some of the
that's a good idea.
High fructose syrups.
Yeah.
Get like some organic non-high fructose ones, so it's not just like food dye.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun one, and it'd be something. I don't know. I mean, if she still wants to go after the car washes, I'm fine with that. But I'm just trying to think of a way to teach her how to take what she's gotten and not just buy stuff with it, but to continue to expand what she can do with it.
I like that idea. That's a fun idea. I like it.
Yeah. So that's what I am going to pitch to her.
I like that idea. That'll be great.
Right.
Good. So one of the things that I was wanting to talk to you today about is decisions.
Yeah.
And making decisions. You and I in the last week have stumbled upon a new technique. It sounds
I don't know if that's the appropriate
I know,
word.
right? It sounds very methodical. It's actually not. It's something I know for myself, and you can say your opinions on this, but I know for myself, I've always thought it was like a kooky, charismatic thing to do. And so I was like, kind of brushing it off, like whatever. But you and I've been doing this the last week, and it's been really not just centering for you and I, but also, which is a huge one, it's been refocusing our attention on what is important. But also it's been a time to bring unity to you and I.
Right, relationally, yeah.
Yeah.
And, in different formats throughout the years, I've heard people talk about when they have a really big decision to make, how they take communion together every day and they pray about it.
Spoiler, that's the new method.
And I wasn't sure how much.
I know, right?
Do you want me to just keep talking around it?
Yeah, sure.
But I would look at that and I would think, I mean, great. And but I guess I just didn't recognize the power in that. And so Nathan and I were making a pretty big decision over the last few weeks here, and I just thought, I think we need to do that.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do that. And this is my takeaway from it is, and I don't know why it hadn't occurred to me before, but really practically, it takes whatever you're praying about, whatever you're trying to decide, and it puts it right back in line with the cross. Right? With who Jesus is and what he accomplished. And it takes away all the peripheral, all the stuff that you want to be praying with.
Or even like all the
about.
Bogging yourself down with details, all
You're not thinking about that.
Right.
You're just thinking about the Lord. And it's been really cool because in that, every night when we've been doing it, it has it given us revelation. We've gotten a word from it every night. Yeah. Like, I'll just share a little bit of the word from last night was that God always has a plan. You know, before the foundations of the earth, Christ was crucified before the foundations of the earth. He has always been working on a plan. You know, so as we're trying to figure things out, as we're looking at stuff, God has always had a plan for us. And we are his children, and he cares about us. He loves us. He wants us with him, and he's always working on a plan on our behalf. And so there is a comfort level that we are able to align ourselves with as we are taking communion last night, recognizing the cross, recognizing what it accomplished, not just in our salvation, but in the bigger schemes of God's working and moving, and he loves us, you know, and
no matter the direction that we feel like God is leading us in, or even, you know, I was just thinking about this, babe, that no matter how certain we might feel about something, because that's really how we started out taking communion over the last week, is we felt very certain about something, but that we were like, let's do this. You're the one that brought it up. You're like, let's do this, and continually every night until it is final, we bring it before God, right? And centering ourselves in communion. You're right. Every single night, we've been doing this for about a week now. Every single night, God has given us a word, a different word, every night. But it's been like in an agreement. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. And something I love. I always need to be reminded of, and I like to teach, is that sometimes when you get too bogged down with something, to be able to come back and look at the big picture, right? Yeah. And I think that this is a perfect example of how Jesus gave us this tool to help us remember the big picture.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when he talks about taking communion, and not that there's anything wrong with taking communion in church. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a great part of our liturgy as a service that we do, but that we somehow just regulate it to that time instead of looking at it as, no, this is the way that Jesus has taught us to realign ourselves with him and with the big picture.
Exactly. I was going to say with the big, like the most singular thing that he
and
did.
It gives you perspective. Like you were saying, that it centers us with the perspective of Christ. And, I mean, if anything that this last week has accomplished, it is just it just brought us closer. It's brought me closer to the Lord in that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and no matter what our day is filled with or the conversations that we've had in the day, you and I always have come back to, whatever was supposedly decided upon or whatever that is, coming back at night going, but God, we surrender to you again, right? We sacrifice ourselves before you again. What are you saying? The other thing that you and I were talking about earlier this morning and even yesterday was this idea that we follow peace. And that I was just thinking about it may make sense for you and I, but that can seem so nebulous. I perceive people's thoughts being, yeah, but that sounds so wishy-washy, or that sounds so nebulous, that ethereal, there's nothing concrete about that. But you and I, when we've walked in agreement with each other, with what we believe God is calling us to, that there is a sense of peace there. And it's not things that we have done in a vacuum, right? It's not either just me or just you or even just us. We have people who we have in our lives who we submit things to. Here's what we're thinking. Here's what we're praying about. Will you guys pray about this and give us feedback on it?
Right.
And so it's this idea of peace that that's what we default to. And I don't mean peace like everything's gonna work out and it
right, or you don't have any concerns, or you don't have any worries.
No. It's the overwhelming peace, perhaps in spite of circumstances or in a lack of details. There is peace. Some details may need to be figured out. Circumstances may need to hopefully work out for us or not.
Can I talk about the example I was talking about
absolutely.
with you earlier?
Yeah.
Because this is a really concrete one to me that I didn't have a good reason for. I just didn't have peace about.
Sure.
And a few years ago, when I was trying to figure out some of my medical issues, I found that I had a fibroid on my uterus, right? Mm-hmm. And so I wasn't sure what to do. We didn't really have we have like a Christian sharing medical coverage, but it's kind of dicey how it covers, how it doesn't cover, what's going to work, what's not. And we were fairly new to the area.
Or where it's going to cover, or
how much, all of that.
Yeah.
We were fairly new to the area, so I didn't have any referrals as to where to go. And so I went to my first person that I was referred to. And, we both liked the doctor, seemed great, everything seemed awesome. But basically, he said, the only way you're going to get rid of this, because it's so huge and because it's so invasive, is you're going to have a hysterectomy.
Right.
And it'll be like, snip, snap, snuff, we're all done, we're good to go. I'll never forget.
Snip, snap, snip.
Snip, snap, snip, snap. I'll never forget, because he was just, I really like this guy, actually. He's talking to us about finances, and he's like, we're like, okay, well, ballpark, what will that cost? And he's like, it'll run you about the cost of a new Honda. Not like a family-size Honda, but like a sedan. Do you remember that he said that? Yeah. It's so funny. But, so, I mean, we like this guy and everything. Sure. He seemed very knowledgeable. But I just did not have peace. I didn't have peace about it. And so time goes on. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I get it. I find this other person.
Well, wait. Even finding the other person, didn't you had done it?
No, you're going, okay.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Find this other person. I'm like, okay, well, maybe because I don't want a hysterectomy, I got to find someone who's more natural, right? Who's more of a
I was jumping ahead
functional medicine person. So time goes by. I find another person who deals more with more not just straightforward, like, I guess, I don't know how to say it, but I'm more crunchy. Wanted somebody that was a little crunchier than me, that I wouldn't have to explain why I didn't want a hysterectomy. I mean, because the other people are like, well, you're old, you can't have kids. Snip, snap, snip, snap, let's get it done. And I just I did not have peace with it. And so I go to the crunchy lady, who's a doctor, looks at it, she goes, I don't know what to tell you other than you need a hysterectomy. This is what's going to have to happen. You need one. That's the only way that can deal with it. It's all I can offer you, right? And so I got into opinions from medical professionals who have been in their field for decades, and they both told me the same thing.
One not.
Right. And so even when the crunchy person's like, you definitely need to go get this removed, I was like, wow, I don't know why I still don't have peace about this. Oh. And it was really impacting my life.
Well, and let me say this. So we weren't in agreement, right? I was like, no, you should. If they said you should, but you didn't have peace. And what we had decided in that moment was, unless we agree, let's
Wait,
not
table it.
Yeah, table it. Like, let's not do anything, right? Which is another huge step. If two people don't agree, don't make a rush,
Right.
snip snap
Snip,
decision.
snap decision.
Let's table it, do more research, whatever it is. Even though I was even for it,
Right.
you were like, I really, really don't have peace about it, and I defaulted to, okay, your decision, which was essentially not doing anything right now, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I'm and meanwhile, how many years has it been since, I mean, I just had it done, the surgery last year, so it was 3 years in total this took. No, I know what happened. Okay, so 2 years went by, and I'd seen the two people, and then I was like, Lord, I need to do something about this.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't want a hysterectomy. I don't know where to go. So I just started looking up, for my third opinion, I started looking up people in the area in Austin, and they were people that were covered by our
Insurance provider.
our Christian sharing. And I had a list of them. And I went to Nathan and I said, who do we like? And it wasn't off referrals or anything. We just prayed over it.
And you'd give me, was it 2 or 3?
3.
3?
Prayed over it. Went with one guy. And
It was immediately for me. So one of the big things is, because you got to be in relationship with God.
Right.
Like, I mean, and rest upon the gifts that he's given you. This is something we've talked about in vacation planning. Lacey will do the research. She'll come to me, and I'll be like, bing, bang, bomb. Let's go with number 3, But in this, there was one person immediately. I was like, nope, that's a nopers. Like, I did not have peace. I didn't even have to
pull this bobby pin off the bottom of my...
No.
They're just
what
like
happened?
everywhere. Bobby pins are everywhere.
There's a couple over there on the
but
floor.
they are.
So one of the things is, I was like, nope on one. The other one, we'll see. But there's one guy that I was just like, yeah, this guy seems it. Like,
he has kind eyes.
Basically, I mean, I don't know how to tell you my method, right? But it's like, no, I have peace about this one, right? So let's further investigate.
Right. So I set up an appointment, and I go in, and right away they do a really awesome ultrasound, get a really good idea of what's going on, and I find out about this guy that he actually, I had wanted to find a gynecologist that didn't just work with pregnancies, but that had a wider scope, and this was definitely the guy, and he also specialized in endometriosis.
Right.
And at the time, I was unaware that was my problem. I just thought that everybody was in agony every month for a week. Like, I thought that was fairly normative. But anyway, so he does the exam, he gets the stuff in line, and he basically is like, we want to do the surgery. You have 2 options. You can either have a hysterectomy, or I can just take it off, and I won't have to do the only option that the other people had given me was a really invasive myomectomy, where months recovery, all this stuff. They couldn't even guarantee it. Like, it wasn't a good idea.
Right.
But he was like, no, I can use that. He was so casual about it. I was actually shocked, because I'm like, everybody had made such a big deal about it that it wasn't an option. And this guy was just like, he could do it on his lunch break, sandwich in one hand, not a problem.
But it was like, is it laparoscopically?
Laparoscopic, yeah.
Laparoscopic,
so,
which is like basically 3 little holes.
Yeah.
Well, no. What I'm saying is it's not a massive.
No. It wasn't. Yeah. And he was so just like, just decide. Do you want a hysterectomy, or do you want this other option? And I'm like, I can get that. Like, I had to ask him a few times, like, are you sure? And so he's like, oh yeah, no problem.
Because
call the office
everyone else was so confident about full hysterectomy.
Call the office, schedule it. Oh, okay. So
his lunch break.
Anyway,
a little bit more than that.
This guy is pretty incredible. Like, I really enjoyed him. And he basically, he sets up the surgery. Well, then the pandemic hit. So it kept getting pushed back. That was part of the reason why everything took so long. But so we get my surgery scheduled.
Hold on real quick. I need to do a quick interruption. So I'm sniffling and coughing over here. I'm not dying, I promise. Nor do I believe I have COVID. I got some kind of like flu cold
Nobody
thing.
cares, honey.
No, but I'm doing like
That's fairly normative. That's not.
It feels more than what is usual.
This is like man cold kind of conversation. Tell me how you feel. Are you gonna be okay?
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. This is one of the many resources we make available for free at our website, cultivaterelationships.com. Our resources have helped people grow in their relationship with God and others. We've seen people set free from uncontrollable anger and paralyzing fear. We've witnessed estranged family members be reunited after working through our freedom booklet. We've helped people build healthy relationship and coping habits through our coaching videos. And all of these resources are made available for free because of the generous support of people like you. If you would like to become a partner, please visit cultivaterelationships.com/support. Now, I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. I was whining about my cold because I feel extra sniffly and coughy today than I usually am.
You're still whining about it.
Please continue.
I will continue.
Tell me, let's tell
Talk about me.
Let's tell the story that happened to you and not me. Go ahead.
I would love that. Okay, so pandemic hit. We have to keep bumping it back. So finally opens up for me to get the surgery done. And remember, back to why I chose this guy is because he can work with my insurance. So,
right.
And I had called the sharing thing. They said not a problem. That either wherever I have my surgery, if it's not out of his office, then they work with wherever he has privileges, right? So wherever he has privileges. So I didn't think, I mean, I had done everything right. I'd called everybody. So I get to my pre-op, which was 3 days before the surgery.
Yes.
And I get in there and they see me. Everything's great. They're all great.
Because this is isn't it like a Thursday or Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my surgery
before
was
the
Tuesday.
weekend.
Yeah.
Right. Following. Yeah.
Had my COVID test, all of that done. That I was back during the day when they'd stick the thing all the way back to your brain and kind of wiggle it around for a little while.
Hey guys, speaking of COVID tests, guess what I've had to do my entire life?
You've had the brain wiggles test?
Yeah, because they have to stick it all the way down into your lungs. Like to get...
I'm sorry about that.
To get...
I feel like it just went all the way up like that. Like,
no, honey, it curves around.
I know, it doesn't feel like that,
though. I understand.
But
once again, all of you guys who have done COVID tests and we're like...
honey, what is this? What do you think? We just all need to sit around you and cry together?
Listen,
all of your...
this story is all about you. I needed some attention, okay?
I'll give it to you.
I need this.
So I get in there, everything looks great, we're all set up, and then I'm walking out, and financial says, oh, by the way, we don't accept your provider. You have to have 20%
of a surgery that costs the Honda, right?
No. This is new place, new time, new place.
Right.
It wasn't the Honda.
It was more of a Mercedes or something.
It was more of a 2-bedroom in a nice area of town.
A Manhattan condo, okay?
No, not that much. It's more brain surgery level.
Oh, that's true.
So anyway, they said, we need 20% for you to have this done by Tuesday in cash, an unmarked bag in the alleyway. And I'm like, how much is that? And they say, well, we don't actually know. This is with a straight face. They said, well, we don't actually know because our software is not working. And I'm like, well, how can I get you 20% of a number you don't know? And they're like, we'll get back to you.
Right.
So Friday comes, they call me. They're like, hey, we don't have the number yet, but you still need to have us 20% of an unknown number by Tuesday. And I'm like, okay, maybe you should get that number. So then... I think I called him a few times on Friday. Saturday, I call him. Nobody knows. So then I decide, listen, this is not my problem.
Right.
This is their problem.
Right.
And meanwhile, I was really freaking out about, back to the freaking out. I was freaking out about the whole thing because there's all this buildup. I finally get my surgery. We have 3 years in a pandemic later, 3 doctors, all this stuff. Finally get my surgery. And I run into this. And I'm just like, Lord, I have been praying. I followed peace. I followed where you left me. I've been really excited to get this done. It's finally happening. And then this. And Nathan and I were praying about it, and we just felt like we just need to show up for the surgery.
Right.
And so it was crazy.
Okay, so first of all, I've done a lot of surgeries, and so I know, like, there's this whole, like, you park, you walk your loved one into the
you sit
waiting
with them.
room, you sit with them as they're, like, contemplating what's about to happen, and you give them peace and rest and pray and laugh and talk and all of these things in a normal surgery. That's not happening this time. I literally had to dump her off at the curb
basically.
and go park across the
He's
street.
like, beep, beep, out of the car.
Seriously. So I, like, have to, like, dump her off on the curb, and I go across the street and sleep in our car.
Right, because it's an early surgery, and
a surgery, mind you, that should only, I've been told,
we're getting there. It's supposed to be an hour and a half.
Hour and a half
right,
surgery.
So I go get in line. I have my belongings,
No, she's literally in a line.
I'm in a line of sad people who are all by themselves.
Alone, holding their bags of belongings.
Exactly, like, oh, you're going to cut me. And so I get up there, and I'm wondering what's going to happen. Like, are they going to be like, you need to pay us 20% of an unknown number? But they didn't. They just let me in.
Right.
And meanwhile, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I never had a surgery.
Gone under anesthesia? Nothing.
No, I was all by myself. So I have my little headphones, and I'm listening to worship music, and I have I have a problem, like I'm a nervous peer.
Oh my.
So when I get too nervous, I have to go to the bathroom all the time. Well, then they're like, so I'm just like keep running to the bathroom, like come back, and then they're hooking me up, and then I'm having to like unhook, and it was just like, and then I'm panicking because they're telling me that they're not going to put a catheter, and I'm like, I'm going to pee all over the table, and it was a lot of drama, and they took my glasses, and I couldn't see. Anyway,
she's legally blind without her glasses. So wait. So whoever your doctor or whoever the anesthesiologist is, right, is coming in, talking to you, and you're like, I can't see you.
No, I couldn't see anybody.
No.
Because they took my glasses.
Because you're legally
blind.
blind.
But I said to the anesthesiologist, I said, please, can you help me? I am so nervous. And he goes, just talk to my assistant. He'll be able to make sure that you're less nervous. And so the assistant comes in. I'm like, please, kind sir.
Who she can't see.
The anesthesiologist says you can help me. But anyway, so anyway, I have the surgery, and they never said anything about the financial stuff, which is just so miraculous, right? Like, if that software wouldn't have been down, I don't know what we could have done. I don't know. But the Lord just made a way. And so I ended up having the surgery, and this hour-and-a-half surgery was like 5 hours long.
So back to
you in the car.
Cut back to me in the car an hour and a half later with my timer set, because I'm like, I don't want her to be like kicked on the curb and wait for me. I have to pick her up, right? So here's what happened is an hour and a half, had my timer set. I wake up because I'm sleeping. It was early in the morning.
Yeah, it was early.
Wake up, and thankfully the doctor did call me, and he's like, hey, here's what happened. It's going to take longer because of...
There's been an accident. No, I'm just kidding.
No. He was really kind.
Yeah.
He was like, surgery's going really well, but here's what we're doing. Here's, in addition to the fibroid, also what we're doing, And he was being very thorough with the insides.
Explanations.
Yeah, I was just going to say thorough in terms of, like... things that he was doing
so my and this is part of the reason why we're talking about following peace is this guy was a specialist in endometriosis, and they get into my body, and I have
everywhere,
stage 4 everywhere
on her brain.
It's not on my brain. You can get it in your brain, in your
legs. I know, I'm just
it wasn't that.
No.
It wasn't there, but
no.
It was a lot of places.
Yeah,
we'll just say I'm not going to get into the graphics. But then on top of that, I had all these adhesions they had to cut apart because all of my internal organs were all stuck together, right? Yeah. And so they're pulling me all apart. They're taking out this fibroid, and this fibroid that they thought was, I don't know, smaller than, they knew it was like, big.
From what we had seen or from what we had known, it was like a size of a solid fist, right?
Right, and it was the size of a cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. The next time you go to the store and
Look at
purchase
a cantaloupe and think of me.
Just think.
In honor.
That's what Lacey had. And purchase that cantaloupe and eat it in
Gross.
honor of...
You just gotta bring it to the next...
Should I say what you did?
Well, I did have an honorary cantaloupe after I recovered, just for old time's sake. Yeah.
There you go.
So anyway...
Old time's sake. Yeah, no.
Anyway, it was like all... They didn't know that at first, so...
Right.
You know I'm a mess, right? Inside's a mess. But because this guy specialized in all of this, and I just didn't have the Honda guy just do a snip and pull, you know?
Snip and tuck.
Yeah. They were able to discover all of this other stuff and fix it.
Yeah.
And so it's like I look at that and I go, Lord, you completely led me through all of this.
You know, it wasn't just from God's perspective and from what we found out later, it wasn't just this fibroid that was giving you issues. It was the endometriosis. It was all of these things.
Above, yeah.
And so things that you had lived with for years, God was wanting to be thorough and take care of.
Right.
But we had to follow peace to get us there. Not to make quick snap decisions, not to basically compromise.
Wait was miserable.
Right.
The wait was miserable.
Waiting cost you something.
It did.
Right? And so it's not that, it's not like we follow peace because everything's going to work out and everything's all comfortable and hunky-dory.
Right.
Sometimes waiting and following peace will cost us something, but recognizing that God is being more thorough than maybe what compromising would have done, right? Compromising would have just solved the one fibroid issue.
Right.
It would not have dealt anything with your endometriosis, which, along with that, in addition to, we now have someone that Lacey's able to go to
get help
and get help.
Yeah,
right,
for real. Yeah. And then the financial end of things, our sharing network, I mean, it was a process, but it took care of it all.
Right.
Over the course of the last, 6 months.
We didn't have we didn't have to have unmarked bills. We didn't have to have a duffel bag of cash.
But at the end of it all, I had a reaction to the anesthesia. Anesthesia.
Word.
So am I saying that word right? I always say it wrong. Yeah. So anyway, I was in there for longer, just vomiting. And at the end of it all, when they finally could get rid of me, they just kind of like wheeled me out and dumped me at the curb.
True story. I literally had to, again, drive up, pick her up at the curb, hoping she wouldn't vomit in the car.
I do not recommend surgeries during pandemics. They are not the best.
Oh my
It was
word.
very interesting.
No.
But
yeah, so, all of Lacey's story to say that, when her and I have made decisions, whether it's within our immediate family, we follow peace, meaning Lacey and I are united in the decision. If it involves bigger things like, moves or financial decisions or stuff like that, we may bring other people in to share. A great example of that is like our financial advisor and our tax stuff, like bringing other people in who are smarter than us, who know.
Right.
things.
And we have people in our life that are older than us, that have walked with the Lord for a while, and that we know love him and love us, and that we call them and we ask them, can you pray with us?
Yeah, and they're missionaries, so they know the ministry side.
Well, I'm not just talking about
right, yeah,
one specific couple, but I'm talking about we have several people, right?
Yeah. But it's almost like we have people in our life, so we have a group of people, but we have each of them are experts. Right. If you will, in their own area, that we can go to and say, here's what we're thinking. What do you think? Like, is this a good direction to go into? And so it's that idea of not only are you and I united, it's also inviting that other couple in, or inviting those people in, or inviting those experts in, and asking, here's what we're thinking, or here's a decision that's been placed before us, or here's a complication that we've run into. Right.
To be honest with you, though, I feel like peace is kind of my trump card.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I really do struggle moving forward unless I do have
Yeah.
peace in an area.
But again, I think I don't want to sound like peace takes maturity. And it takes I would say a history. Hold on, bear with me here. It takes a history of maybe people in your life, because it's like there's if you want to chalk it up to good or bad decisions, but maybe like decisions that aren't very comfortable, but we have peace about, that takes walking with God. Does that make sense?
It does, but I think I hesitate to make a formula. Like, call a friend,
absolutely.
call somebody
No,
more
no, no.
mature, and if they say go for it, go for it.
No, but this
I
is
think
why
that
it
all of
sounds-
those things have to work in conjunction,
Exactly.
hand in hand, you know?
It's all a balancing act, right?
Right.
And so it's not like it's a method, or that it's a formula. If A and B equal C, then we'll do.
And just
that.
and just to throw this out there, if it is something that you're pursuing or that you're deciding that is against the Bible, like it does
Right.
not align with the Word of God, there is a definite no there.
Okay, so here's one. Here's a fantastic one. Okay.
Right.
So do you remember when we were engaged, and we had some friends of ours who were like, because we were telling them some of the medical issues, some of the financial issues, stuff like that, and they're like, no.
No.
Oh, okay. No, I was just gonna say, like, we defaulted to no. We feel like God's
Well,
leading
yeah,
us this way.
it would. They could see our struggle. We've always had a struggle with Nathan's disease getting his insurance, like how we're going to work that out. And
Right.
they had some solutions that would have been solutions, but that we didn't feel like
we weren't comfortable.
we weren't comfortable with
Yeah.
them. And from the world stance, they would have been fine. But for us,
I was gonna say from the world stance and technically legally, they
It's
would have been
fine.
fine. But we were uncomfortable with it because that was not what you and I had agreed upon,
Right.
essentially, and so
and what our values
yeah,
lined up with.
exactly. And so that's what we're saying, though, is it's messy, and we're sharing all of these like ideas and thoughts and everything, but it's messy, and it takes you, and if you're married, you and your spouse, or if you're single, I would still invite a community, right? Like that relational aspect in of some close friends who are led by the Spirit,
Right.
who love Jesus, who love you, and not just default to whatever bad idea you have. Yeah, that sounds like great. You do you. But it's like, hey, they know what's best for you. I don't know.
Right.
It's
So in honor of this topic,
yes,
we have decided that we are going to hash out a problem
we do. We do have a
in
problem.
our household
Yes.
live,
Yeah. So
so
it's
that you
nothing,
can listen to us
It's nothing like
argue.
a major surgery issue. This is. So you guys have heard us talk about marble jars before,
Right. Which I do want to promote real quick
Yes.
before we get into this open display of our communication. I want to promote that we have, if you weren't aware, we have small group studies on our Cultivate Relationships website, and
Yes.
they are they have videos with them that go along with talking points, and the one that I just think would go along really good with this subject is our communication small group,
Yes.
which you can do. We just had a couple walk through it for premarital.
Yeah, so we've done-
had groups walk through them.
Yeah. So we've done. So the small group resources you can find at our website, cultivaterelationships.com/resources. You can just go to our website, go to the menu, but it's /resources, and hit the small group tab. And like Lacey's saying, they're these video series that are 6 weeks long, or 6 videos long. You could do them in a group. You could do them we have a church that's doing them as a marriage group, as a marriage small group, individually. But yeah, recommend the communication one. It'll be fantastic. Also,
And hopefully we stick to our own advice during this.
We'll see. There's also one that's coming up on conflict that may be
Ooh.
may be beneficial
Yeah.
after this. the topic we're going to be covering is we've reached a crossroads with our marble jar / screen time
System.
system.
So what we've had set up for maybe a year.
It's been a couple, I thought.
You think so?
I think so.
Anyway, it's been for
A while.
a while. We have had a system in place for the girls to get screen time. So that means their Kindles, a movie, anything like that.
Yes.
They have to, and the only thing that is outside of that is music and audiobooks. We don't make them put marbles in for that.
Right.
But like, they love editing pictures, they love games, they love that kind of stuff. So to earn 5 minutes of screen time, they have to earn a marble. And throughout doing their chores, being kind to one another, obeying right away, not arguing, they earn marbles.
And then also, because we homeschool, subjects that they complete.
You just started that one. It is not taken off like wildfire.
Really?
No, because they're not doing their schoolwork,
No,
which is a different issue.
No, like... Oh, I thought they were...
No, it's not working. So we've gotten to a point
Hence
where
this conversation.
right, where marbles are no longer working for a few reasons. Number one, the kids are cheating like crazy. Like Ari always has like half a jar of marbles.
How?
And I don't know. Lydia's blessed. She is
She
a
always
lot
has
more honest.
zero.
I know.
She has zero marbles.
Zero. And then Nathan and I, we don't remember to give them out anymore.
You know what? That's
We've been-
unfair.
no, we've been
I've been
bad.
fantastic. I've been really good. Yep.
When's the last time you gave out a marble?
2 days ago.
2 days.
Yep, because 2 days ago because Lydia finished science. So I gave her marbles.
Okay, and
because
then
she
another
finished
thing
science.
we've not been agreeing on is I don't think it should take marbles to like edit a picture or do some of the little things they're doing that they like to do.
Well, here's why I think there should be marbles, because Mom, can I edit a picture? Yeah, sure. And I go and look on the screen and they're watching a video.
Right. Another problem we've been having is YouTube, which we're not fans of the freestyling on YouTube. And they have a kids YouTube app. Like, they're not totally freestyling, but
We still don't
I don't like it.
some of the shows.
No, I don't like it. And
Or even some of the YouTuber
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, just the value system of some of those things. One of the things another thing we disagree about is sometimes, for the love, I need them to be able to watch a movie and just calm down or have a moment to just relax. Like Ari's been kind of sick, and so I need her to just be still. And she doesn't ever want to be still. She's always moving, always playing. And the minute, if she feels unwell, if she starts to feel even a tinge bit better, she's out and about. And so I was trying to bribe her with a movie today, and Nathan was insisting that she have marbles for it, and it wasn't working. And so I want the freedom to be able to say, I need a break, go and watch a movie.
Okay. So
We are in an impasse.
You're saying scrap the marbles.
They're not working.
They're not working.
They're not working.
Okay. Are they not working because we're not consistent enough, or are they not working because they're not honest enough?
I think both of those things are true. I also think another thing is that they've lost their appeal. Like, you know how you just do something for a while and it just doesn't, you just get out of the habit.
Okay, so here's one thing that, okay, let's scrap the marble idea. But what if they had to check out their Kindles for a specific amount of time? So, like, if they checked it out, they'd be checking it out for, like, a half hour. First of all, we kill the YouTube.
The app is gone. We're done. We've decided that already.
That's an agreement. But what if we did that where it's like, could they check it out for a certain amount of time? And to be honest, it's like once we kill the YouTube app, I would feel more comfortable
just letting them have it when
just
they
letting
want
them
to.
have it when they want to. So that's one thing where marble can be set aside. But what if they had to check them out, and it would only be for like a certain amount of time, unless it was for room time, which we let them read books or listen to books during room time before bedtime.
I feel like that might work in conjunction with us telling them that we have to kill the YouTube app. That, hey, the benefit of this, of us taking YouTube off, is that you get to
have a little bit more freedom in terms of when and how you use it.
The thing that I feel like is a little nebulous is checkout. Like, what do you mean by checkout?
So for example, we'll have them in our room.
Okay.
Okay. The charger's in our room, all of that. and they check it out. So can I play on my Kindle? Can I play on my Kindle? I'm bored. And it's like, well, did you feed the cat, feed the dog? No. Well, okay, number one, do that. 2, did you do a shower? I haven't showered in like a week. Well,
okay,
well,
so what if...
So, like, they have to do
right.
chores before they check it out, right?
What if on the big board in the hallway, the big whiteboard, we have a daily checklist of things that have to be accomplished before you can check out your Kindle for a certain amount of time?
I like that. That's fine. But kind of regardless, at night during room time, they can
still
have
get
it for
movies and not movies. No.
Listening to books,
yeah.
And like they like to fall asleep to worship music.
Which is so funny. So. That's like another problem that Amazon has going for it. Is
oh
that
my goodness.
You get music unlimited. No, music. You get music with Prime. But then your kid will accidentally hit the new song they want to listen to, and they charge you $8 for the month.
Right.
Which is not like, it's not like we're going to not be able to eat this month. But they keep doing it, and then they have to call Amazon, and like Lydia's bought the family pack before, and it's just like they don't mean to. They just make it so easy to do it. So I just kind of like,
yeah,
let it go.
So have we come to an agreement?
Okay, we need to workshop a little bit. How long every day can they check? Like, let's say they get up in the morning, like Ariana does her whole checklist. Does she just get her iPad all day long?
No. So that's what I was saying is, what if we had a specific time limit, like blocks of time that they can
like, so for the day, they would have hour for the entire day.
Something to that effect, yeah.
Okay. I feel like the details might need to be worked out a little bit. But
right. But I like
think that's
this.
A little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, so like let's say the entire day they have an hour minus music and audiobooks. Minus music and audiobooks. They have an hour to do whatever they wanted on the Kindle.
Okay.
You know, whether it's play apps or, you know, stuff like that. Watch a movie.
Do they have to do it in succession, like the whole hour at one time?
No, and I think maybe that's what we need to...
That's what I need to work out. And then
also,
also, what does it mean, like, if I wanted them to go watch a movie? Because sometimes in the summer, they just get overheated and I need to send them to sit in the living room for a while.
Well, and I think, here's the thing, is as we give them more freedom, it's like I want them to just ask, like, not just start something, but can I go watch a movie? I'm overheated, or can I go watch a show?
Which they do ask, but I think if we remove the marbles, it'll make them feel a little less
like
yeah,
what is that
constrained. But that if we do say, hey, is your chore checklist done?
Right, like first and foremost,
your chore checklist done.
Yeah. Even if they're overheated.
It's a good question.
Well, I mean, in theory, they shouldn't even be playing. Well, because then we have to. What's the incentive? I mean, they love to go out and play in the pool.
I know. So we don't let them out of their rooms ever.
Here's the thing.
Until their chore checklist is done.
We don't let them out of the house. We padlock their doors. Hold on. Let me workshop this.
Break it down.
Let me workshop this. We don't feed them.
Okay.
Until they've fed the animals.
We make food like a scavenger hunt, where each item of food for them is like part of their chore. Like their breakfast is in the bathroom until they clean it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
And if they haven't swept the floor, their breakfast is on the floor.
Exactly.
I like that.
This just sounds like OCS might be called in.
Someone listening to our podcast.
Exactly. Beep, bop, boop, bop, bop.
I would like you to listen to this podcast.
Okay.
No, but I feel like we
have a skeleton of an idea.
I like this idea. Okay, this is good.
Okay, so this is the core of what I like about it. It is getting rid of YouTube.
Yes, number one.
It is making them feel like they have a little bit more autonomy with not being so strict with the marbles.
Right.
The marbles, I did like the fact that I could reward positive behavior, but like what we've been talking about, I just want that to be something more verbally, like hey, I really appreciate this today.
You know what
I appreciate
have been
that
doing?
today.
Okay, guys, here's a non-paid sponsorship promo. So I've been doing the 40-day love dare for parents. I've been doing the 40-day.
You dare to love your kids for 30 days.
I only have to love them for 40 days, and then I can be done. No, it's the love dare for
Woo,
parents.
that was rough.
Can't wait to do it for the marriage one.
Exactly.
No, it's the love dare for parents, and so one of the big things is the verbal affirmation, because I know for myself, my default is to be like, great, you're doing something, but you did 13 other horrible things, right? So it's been a good challenge for me. It's been a good
I know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just listening with very neutral expression.
So, but that's been one of the things as a habit that they're building. And so I've been doing that over the last, or been more intentional and conscious of my words toward them over the past week, in terms of making sure I see something good that they're doing and focusing in on that, rather than here are all of the other ways. Or even if they're doing the good thing, not correcting it because they're not doing it well or good enough or up to my standard, right? Like Lydia with dishes. Great, she loaded the dishwasher, but hey, good job. I really appreciate when you put your mind to things that you do a really good job, and being more intentional with my words that way. And so I think that's what you're getting at, is the positive affirmation is not through marbles, but through, hey, we just love you. Good job.
Right.
That was,
right.
Great job on that. Great initiative on that. Great, whatever.
Being more intentional with those instead of letting marbles
and being more
lead us.
generous.
Yeah.
I know for myself, I have to be generous with compliments, because I'm not a generous person.
Which
when
is
it
really
comes to
funny,
compliments.
because your love language is words of affirmation.
I just want people to say
how
good.
the turntables have turned.
I just want people to tell me how good I am.
I know,
without
giving
having
any kind of
to do that.
reciprocation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If everyone would just focus on me,
I know.
I would be
I get
fine.
that.
And I feel like everyone else would be too. Hey, this was good.
I enjoyed it.
I actually did too.
Thank you.
I mean, not actually
Thank you for
like
this meeting.
Oh, the other thing, dealing with conflict and dealing with communication and decision making, we do talk about conflict resolution in our book on love. And so we do highly recommend that. And we've had, in all seriousness, some incredible testimonies coming out of people reading our book.
Right.
And I'll be honest, like, I'm blown away by the testimonies of people who say that it's actually changed their life in how they pursue God, how they perceive God, and even in their relationships with other people. And so just really want to thank people for buying the book, purchasing it. It is
reading it.
And reading it. It's a great way that
It's a
people...
two-step thing.
Yeah, well, and it's been so cool, because it's like they'll read the book and then they'll purchase books for people that they know. And so that's just...
I love that too.
I just had a friend tell me that the other day, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, we had somebody that read it and was so changed by it. They said, I want everybody who wants one for a specific thing we were doing. I want everybody who's here tonight to get one if they want one, because it
so many times,
moved me and so changed me. So I thought that was really amazing.
Yeah.
So that was our live conflict resolution.
That was a lot less dramatic than I thought it would be.
That was an easy one, though.
All right, the next one is discipline. Let's debate that one.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it's not right now. I feel like there's going to be a lot of hard words towards me. You know what, All right. Anyways. You know what? I'm just going to call this episode.
So,
or do you have more to say?
Just one more thing.
Okay.
I do want to blanket that talk in the fact that was an easy one for us, and that we have had years and years and years of non-easy
I was going to say
conversations.
That's how our whole marriage has been, is that easy.
And just learning how to... I think the number one thing is learning how to value the other person's opinions and believing the best about them. Believing that they... want the best for you, and they care about you. Like, I know that's my biggest struggle, and now that the Lord has
it's my biggest struggle. I think that's in any relationship. That's the biggest struggle, is believing the best, that you actually care first and foremost, about the situation and that you care about what I'm...
And,
Yeah.
you know, we always talk, if you've heard us talk at all, you
my
know
word.
we bring up the truth that we learned our very first marriage conference. And the truth that has kept us together to this day is you look at your spouse and you say...
You are not my enemy.
You are not my enemy.
As much as I believe, as much as I want
you're
to
proving
think,
it to me.
as you are acting out in front of
Right,
me.
and that we have a real enemy that's trying to come in and lie and destroy our marriage, but you are not it. And
Right.
so,
And there's been real times her and I have been in a fight and we're like, stop. This is stupid. We obviously have thoughts in our brain that we know the enemy is feeding us, and it is just playing right in to that cycle of believing the worst about the other person.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's you have to affirm you have an enemy who loves nothing more than to steal, kill, and destroy you, your relationships, your emotions, and your mind.
and I honestly, I think right now, currently in our marriage, parenting is the number one thing that we are still trying to work on in real time.
Well, the
because it's
problem
like
is-
through a lot of like glances and like,
The problem is I'm right, but Lacey's not agreeing with me. And so
I will cut you if you keep
no, and so it's if you're watching the video, what just went down would make more sense. But it's that belief that the other person is for you. They're not your enemy. Well, I'd say first, they're not your enemy. Two, believe that they're for you. But then also in this situation, dealing with parenting, that Lacey just needs to get on board with what I say.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna dare you to rethink that comment.
I only have to do it for 40 days.
Exactly right.
All right.
That should work. Seeing how the kids are at home for another 10 years.
All right. Goodbye.